Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
I got my hands on an advanced copy of Fields of Fame, probably because Mr. Phillips, the designer, probably knew that I was such a nerd for this game, and I'm just such a big fan of it. And it wasn't a bought or purchased love for the game. It's that I really, really love this game. I bring this game out all the time. When people don't know what board games can do, I like to show them this game for some of these like slightly gamers that I play with. This is one of the most phenomenal games I like. It just hits a wheelhouse for me. It's a sweet spot for me, and I absolutely love it and adore it. I am so excited about the Fields of Fame expansion. I like what's added in this one. The encounter boards, I like the townsfolk cards. I needed more of those, and this introduces the idea of Yarol. This introduces a new resource on the board that if you're able to get, you'll have these Yarol cards that you can either fight, subdue, or flee. And the idea that you can kill them, right, and take wounds for that, and you get a bonus, or you can ask them to join your crew if you have an additional spot for them, if you can afford to pay them, or you can just take a loss of cowardness, a victory point or fame, by just ditching and leaving. That is an interesting decision because it's going to depend on what crew you have and kind of what strategy you have. Whether you're going to be buying these people up or killing them or running away from them. That can be a viable strategy in this. So it gives you something else to think about. I really like the wound tokens you're now taking, which will, if you have like a 6 strength guy and you take 2 wounds, he's now a 4, right? So those wounds are weakening your crew as you go along. So you want to be careful sometimes. Do I want to take this Yarol? Do I want to take that spot because it's going to have a Yarol token, which will make me flip a Yarol card, which could lead to either a loss of victory point or fame or losing wounds, which will make my crew less valuable down the line to me. Wonderful decision. This is an expansion that adds to the game. It doesn't change the game. It doesn't revolutionize the game. It adds more good stuff. And I really like what this one has to add. I'm going to tell you that as for this expansion, Fields of Fame, that I highly recommend this one to be added to the game. I like how it just adds right onto the side of the board. It looks seamless. One day I hope they have like this mega board that I can buy with all the little pieces interacting in it. It adds up the new township space that you can use, which I really like. It just gives you more options. It also gives you the ability to play with an additional player if you want to. That's absolutely included in the game by getting the Fields of Fame. Now this is what I'm going to absolutely recommend. I love the base game. This adds to it. Gives me more of what I love in it, which is decisions, more places to go, more things to think about. And I really like the idea of going there, not knowing. I mean, you have a certain amount of deck in that Yarol, right? So you kind of have an idea if you played it before what's in that deck. But I don't know what's going to come up. Is it something I'm going to want to kill? Is it something I'm going to want to add to my team? Or something I'm going to be forced to run away from? And that's just fun. It does add a little bit of randomness on what card comes up, but it works in the game. It's not something you'll be doing over and over and over again. And everybody will be doing it for the most part, depending on the how the Yarol comes out in the random draw that set up the game. Everybody will be doing it a little bit, right? So it should any randomness should weigh itself out. But it's really fun when you get that guy and you add him to your team, and it was as if you went seeking out, you found somebody to join. It's really, really neat. Really like this one. Absolute keeper. Add this one to the base game, and I would just go ahead and add this one to the base game every time I play. If you were a real noob who didn't know a lot about board games, maybe leave it out, but it doesn't add that much more to it in complexity. It's just more of the same, which is fantastic for me. I love expansions that do that. It give me more of what I like and not trying to change the base game that I already loved. So this is one I'm going to recommend that you add to your collection, add to the base game. I don't see any reason to not include this one every single time. So here are the components for Fields of Fame. the Raiders of the North Sea expansion. I'm going to start out showing some of these townsfolk cards. This is a prototype copy. Just know that what you see is not necessarily going to be finalized, but you are going to get some new characters. These are just some that were thrown in with the Kickstarter. You can get a lot more, but you can see that the artwork matches and just looks phenomenal. This guy's cool. Take 1 less wound when killing a Yarol, or gain 1 silver for every 2 wounds for your crew. Very powerful guy at 4. He looks like a walrus to me. So you're going to get some new character cards that will be added into the game. You're also going to get 1 black worker in addition. You're going to get these 50 wound tokens now. Now these look like blood. Look very cool that you'll be getting. These are little blue meeples. This might not be a final product, but these are going to represent Yarol in the game. You're going to get 9 new scoring markers because you're going to be able to play with an additional player now. So you're going to have a new color, orange, to play with. You're going to get a set of Yarol cards. These are going to be a little bit different. When I go over the flow of the game, I'll explain what these do. But they have a different back, as you can see. You're going to get this board right here, which is called the new player board. And what it's going to do is going to sit on the side of the board. I'll show that in the flow of the game. But it gives you some new spaces to go to. And you're going to have these encounter boards. Each player is going to have. And I'm sure that these are not finalized. This is a prototype copy, but you will have some additional things that you'll be able to do in encounter. So those are what you're getting. A lot of stuff in this little box. Very good. The artwork all matches and it looks fantastic. I found the rules for Fields of Fame to be very good. It mirrors not only all the games in the series, but the base game. You're going to get a little bit look of setup. I wish that the setup picture over here had a little bit more of the setup. But what you're doing is pretty easy. I don't know that if you need that little encounter, what do they call it here, the encounter board. I think that it adds a lot to it. But I don't know if it's completely necessary, but it's thank you for including it. I like the idea that the rule book gives you the 3 options. You're going to kill, subdue, and flee. It tells you a little bit about curing wounds and how to do the fame in the battle. It's very concise. It gives you a lot of pictures, and I think that I was able to learn the game in 3 to 4 minutes with what's in here. So very good job on the rule book. So I'm just going to show you how this one, and this is the original game right here. I'm just showing how this set up. I'm going to put the Yarol cards right here. Each player is going to get an encounter board that will be used with the Yarol. I'm going to put it aside just so you can see it. And you're going to have some new spaces. This Yarol will be put out with all the rest of the resources randomly on the board. And you'll have this kind of new spaces right here that will be activated. And you have your deck of cards, and you're going to have new character cards that will be shuffled into the regular shuffling of the cards. Every player's going to get 5 cards. You look at your hand and choose 1 card to hire for free. Of the remaining 4 cards, then you kind of draft those out. So that's going to be the main difference of setup. So the main difference here is going to be these Yarol pieces. So when you go there and you get these Yarol pieces, then you will have to decide if you want to kill, subdue, or flee. If you kill, you must do that first, then subdue, and then flee. And you would do so by each one that you get, you will draw one of these cards, put it into the discard pile, and take care of it at that time. If you decide to kill, then you will take damage equal to their attack, which is 5, which can be spread out over your crew, and you'll do so by taking these wounds, which will be placed on your character's pages. Then when you do, you will take the kill effect, in this case, gain 2 cards, and you get 2 victory points for each person that you kill. That's how that works. Now when you damage your characters, the people that are in your crew, they will become less effective from that point on. If you don't want to kill them, you can then subdue them, which means you'll take wounds to their attack level, -1, so in this case 4. You can pay the coins, in this case 1, 2, 3, and add this person to your crew. Keeping in mind they can never go in your hand, and your max crew level is 5. If you decide you neither want to kill nor subdue, you can flee. If you flee, you don't have to worry about taking any wounds, and you lose either 1 fame or 1 victory point. If you have neither, then nothing happens. If you cannot kill or subdue, then you must flee. Now the township up here will actually give you 3 more options up here to do this fighting that's going to be going on here. That will work pretty much exactly like the normal board. This little effect right here is really neat. I really like what they're doing over here with the Yarol and how you're kind of taking these people out. And you have an option to add them to your crew if you have the available funds. Who should buy this expansion? Absolutely anybody a fan of Raiders of the North Sea. I would go ahead and order this if I was getting the base game. I think it's seamless that it's added into. I like what it adds. I don't like a whole lot of randomness in my games. That's not something that I enjoy, although I'm fine with it if my mindset is there. I don't think Raiders of the North Sea was a game that needed a lot of randomness. This doesn't add a lot of randomness. The randomness is very small to me. You're flipping a card over and seeing if the guy will flee, but you're making a decision after you see the cards. That can be very interesting. And you kind of know if you're going to a space where you're going to have a Yarol card, so you can completely ignore the Yarol if you want to. I really like this expansion. I had a lot of fun. We were laughing about it, and the guys that were going out and finding, we were kind of laughing and almost role-playing a little bit about what was being added to our crew and acting silly with it. And we just had a good time. And I don't see any reason why you wouldn't add this to the base game right away. Certainly you can play without it, but it fits so seamlessly into the base game. I highly recommend it. So if you're going to get the base, I would recommend getting this. Of course, if you get this, you're going to need the base to play it with. It's an expansion. Highly, highly recommend it. Fields of Fame. I'm so glad he was able to add something good to the game. I was a little nervous. I like this game a lot, so I was a little nervous about the expansion. Sometimes a bad expansion can kind of sour the waters with the game, right? So knocked it out of the park with this. Great job to Shem Phillips, the game designer. You continue to amaze me with this game. This is going to be hard to top, my friend. So excellent, and this will be an absolute keeper for me.